Welcome back, my friends. It's What DIVOC time with yours truly, Chuck the author. We are now at Chapter 9, Step Up, Week 7, April 27th to May 3rd, 2020. Here we go. We are 7 weeks into the pandemic. Therefore, call it the 7-week itch, an epiphany, or the moment that Jake kicks his butt out of bed. He wakes up, walks to the window, and says, "What the bleep? I need to get my shit together. I'm a grown-ass man, and it's time I figured this out. I'm not walking through life anymore." He gets dressed and puts his shoes on. A morning jog. That's right, a morning jog will clear his mind and help him focus on what he needs to get done. He bolts out of the door, and there he goes. 30 seconds in, however, he runs right back home. He needs to take a pee first, but he is ready to face the day and make it happen, whatever it is. That is right after he takes a tinkle. Kate has stepped up testing even more. She's lost 3 residents out of the 60 in her long-term care facility. That's 5% of those people who live there. It's not as bad as some other residents with their catastrophic death rates, but it's not as good as some who have managed to have 0 deaths. On April 29th, the Morning News reports 151 deaths in the province, and 99 of them are in long-term care residents. That's unacceptable, deplorable, and an obvious indication that something is systematically wrong with the situation in these homes. Kate is convinced, or is trying to convince herself anyway, that the security measures in place, the increased testing, will help ensure that others don't get the virus. She's also heard the government has increased testing capacity from 6,000 to 14,000 tests per day in the province. Kate thinks it's about freaking time. The more testing done, the more that can be known and better prepared everyone can be. Simultaneously, however, as Kate is praising increased testing, Lando Prump blurts out on the radio, "The more tests you do, of course, the more cases will be reported. It's a no-brainer. We don't need more tests to tell us that it's out there. What we need is a cure. Is there a way we can do something like, by injection inside or almost a cleaning? It would be interesting to check that. Who knows? Maybe this virus is going to go away without a vaccine, and we're not going to see it again, hopefully, after some time. Come on. We cannot shut down the economy completely for too long. This is getting ridiculous." As soon as he finishes his little rant, he immediately shuts his mic off and cues John Smith to go to commercial. Lando starts to cough incessantly. John looks at him puzzled. "Hey, you okay?" Lando doesn't even look his way and tries to collect himself. John chimes in again. "Are you okay?" Lando barks back. "Yes, just do your job." Jake returns home after an invigorating run. He takes a quick shower, sends off a text to Kate to wish her to have a good day, and suggests to her that he'd like to plan another virtual date for tonight if she has time. Then, boom, the earth shakes. No, not an earthquake, but it's an idea so brilliant that it shakes Jake to his core. He has it. He should have immediately figured this out long ago, or at least when he saw Ryan fumble around with the mask at the grocery store. His company can manufacture that type of equipment and make it better. He comes up with a few mock-ups of masks, protective face shields, and even some protective dividers that he knows Pierre will be on board with. He shoots off an email with the designs and specs to Pierre's boss, and within a minute, Pierre calls him. "Sacré bleu! Jake, that's amazing! We can do this. We can make some of these. Can we sell them?" Jake immediately says, "That's the easy part, Pierre. I'm on it. Call an emergency meeting with the team. Let's review how much this will cost, and I'll get on the phone right away." The day flies by, and as this little 15-person team of Spoy Kip gets called in, before supper time, Jake has called every contact he knows and has already secured a few orders. Protective gear is in short supply, so the company's relationship and reputation with his clients has turned Spalte Kip's bleak future around completely in a matter of hours. Jake is hailed as a hero by his colleagues. He made this happen. He saved their jobs, probably even saved a few family homes for some, and helped all those on a shoestring budget bring a little steady paycheck back to their reality. money was really tight for a few of them. Some would have suffered more pain and potentially financial ruin the longer this would have dragged on. That's all changed now. What a day. Jake looks forward to telling Kate about it, but he needs to tell one person even more, his dad. Life can be easy when we're truly in tune with whom and what is important around us. Sharing life joys with those you love doesn't have to be much more complicated than that. Jake calls his dad, who's over the moon with the news of his son's professional success. Mac doubles down and salutes Jake's take-charge outlook and positive perspective. It played a huge role. Great job, son. Great job, Mac adds. Jake smiles. Dad, I'm glad I could share this news with you. I see it now. Who knows why this pandemic is here or how it's all going to play out eventually, but all of that is out of my control. But if I didn't come out of this with a new income, new expertise, or a new skill, it wasn't because I was lacking time. It was because I simply lacked discipline. It's my life, and it's on me to make it work and find my purpose. If I want to be a leader, then I must lead. No more complaining and excuses. Just get it done. Thanks for teaching me that, Dad. LeBlanc delivers some more goods. This time it's to an innovation vocational center across town. He meets the innovation center's director, Emma Celeste, who, of course, he doesn't know is the sister of his best friend's girl. She shows him where all the new protective equipment needs to be placed, and LeBlanc strikes up a conversation. So, how is the schooling going? Are the students freaking out about the online teaching stuff? How do you teach welding online anyway? Emma is a little surprised by the delivery man's interest in the educational system, but she gladly explains how the theory can be done at a distance, and unlike the U sector in the greater Montreal area, students are permitted to come back into the building in the coming weeks to do their hands-on tests when invited. We will be sure to help them graduate. And they both agree that no plan is perfect, but getting students into the workforce, especially when there is a shortage of skilled tradespersons, is essential. The conversation ping-pongs back and forth from how important and valuable tradespersons are. They truly seem like essential workers, and to positive stories about how the environment is retaking the earth, such as less smog in India. It's created a view of the skyline of the Himalayas to now appear. Wildlife reappropriating cities around the globe. More fish in Venice. Lions sleeping in streets in South Africa. Herds of deer at empty Japanese subway stations. It's one of the few stimulating conversations that they've each had with a new adult in weeks. Emma must suddenly excuse herself and answer her phone, however. LeBlanc notices that her pleasant demeanor changed drastically in a second. She apologizes but must leave immediately. LeBlanc quickly brings in the last few protective items. She thanks him and they part ways. Jake had a great day, so he reaches out to Miles to see how things are going. Miles is happy to hear from Jake as he explains what's happened since the shootings in Nova Scotia. Jake listens and lets his friend release what's on his mind. There is no talk of work on Jake's part. It's all about Miles and how he is doing. The fragility of life, our false sense of invincibility, and the push for self-reflection on one's purpose resonates on a whole new level for Jake as he speaks with Miles. It continues to shift his perception of this pandemic. It's really all about perspective. Take the negativity that surrounds us and repurpose it to something positive. Mind over matter. And make it a point to ensure that others matter. This has been a bad day for Monroe and Evelyn, however. As a matter of fact, it has not been a good week. Evelyn has been even less emotionally available to her husband. She also knows Monroe is up to something because he seems so smug about something, but he won't tell her. He's tried with very weak attempts to help get her in a better mood, but it hasn't worked. He's also very busy focusing on the news or taking a longer nap than usual. Ryan has also stayed clear of everyone. He's brokenhearted that he's not heard back from his father. Kate is so focused and stressed about work, the entire house has turned into almost a giant elevator of strangers who do not speak to one another. Nobody is talking, nobody is looking at one another, and everyone just wants to get out. For a house full of people, the people in it feel very alone. Emma quickly rushes home. William is standing in the entrance. Finally, I told you how important I had stuff today and you needed to get home early. Emma is quite upset. Will, seriously, I need you to step up and help. I told you I didn't know how long I'd be. I was waiting for an important delivery for the center. It can't be all on me. He snaps back. I don't care. Do you hear me? I don't care. You needed to get your ass home. Emma's enraged and says, That's enough. That's enough. Get out. Why don't you just get out? Yeah, exactly. Will responds. No problem. I'm out of here. You better just have your attitude in check when I get back, snarls back William. Lizzie is holding her head in the corner of the room, rocking back and forth. Emma is sobbing quietly, thinking her marriage is done and she knows it. She just doesn't know how and when she must end it. She's convinced it's no longer salvageable. Jake has set up another pre-delivered meal to Kate. This time he told her about the plan. He tells her about his day and his winning idea to save the company. He finally admits also that he was embarrassed to tell her about him being laid off. He is laying it all on the line right now. They've shared a lot of details about themselves in these 7 weeks. The conversations have always flowed so easily. But finally, Jake opens up on what scares him, confuses him, and shows his true vulnerability. It makes him even more endearing to Kate. Let's not forget that Kate likes fixing things. Fix people and help others. And even if that's not the number one thing she wants in a relationship, she still is drawn to the imperfection companion who she can help. That's who she is, like it or not. Jake explains how reshifting his energy and point of view during the pandemic, since hearing about his friend Miles' horrific experience in Nova Scotia and his subsequent tete-a-tete with his father about his mother's death, have changed him. It's awoken something inside him. His life, mortality, regrets, and purpose. Jake is an open book, and Kate is spellbound by his page-turner. He finishes off by saying that life is full of twists and turns that we don't expect, but there is one true thing, and he doesn't want to do it alone anymore. And having Kate with him, even if it's not physically together, is comforting and something that he cherishes very much. He just wants to be sure that she knew that. Kate is blown away by his candid, raw, and passionate words, and she blushes somewhat and jokes back. Jake, if you were here right now, I'm not sure I could stop myself. They both smile as she giggles sheepishly. These two haven't touched, but they have connected on an emotional level, which evokes feelings that neither have ever had for anyone else ever, almost. The chemistry is there, and even if they haven't crossed Bunsen burners just yet, the sparks are flying. And that, my friends, is chapter 9. See you next time.